Thank you for joining the First Middle Church of Christ. We're glad to have you. Hey, be sure to go over to our social media platform and like and follow us. And also go over to our YouTube channel and subscribe to it and pass along to your family and friends. We have some great messages that will help you and encourage you in your walk with the Lord. Finding hope and healing in the midst of despair. Talking about the opioid crisis. We come together in the presence of God to address this topic that has deeply affected many of the families in our communities, the opioid crisis. This epidemic has caused so much immense pain and suffering, leaving behind a trail of loss and despair. As members of the church, we are called to offer messages of empathy, support, and healing through our faith. The opioid crisis is a complex and multifaceted issue that has had profound impact on individuals, families, and even communities. Psalms 34 tells us that the Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. The opioid crisis has caused immense pain and suffering within our own communities. Families have been torn apart, and individuals have lost their lives to this addiction. The impact of this crisis reaches far and wide, leaving behind a wake of brokenness and even despair. And as members of the church, we cannot turn a blind eye to the suffering around us. We are called to be a source of comfort and support for those who are struggling. Understanding the nature of opioid addiction. Opioid addiction is a chronic and relapsing condition that affects individuals from all walks of life. It is important to acknowledge that addiction is a disease that alters brain chemistry and leading to compulsive drug-seeking behaviors, despite the negative consequences. By understanding the nature of addiction, we can approach those struggling with this empathy, recognizing that they are facing a forbidden challenge that requires support and understanding. The opioid crisis has not only affected individuals struggling with addiction, but it also has deeply impacted their families and the communities. Families often experience profound grief, fear, and even a sense of helplessness as they witness their loved ones grapple with this addiction, and yet sometimes they relapse and go back in further and deeper. Additionally, communities are even affected by this social and economic burden associated with this addiction, including increased healthcare costs, strain on social services, and a rise in crime related to drug abuse. In times of great despair, it is essential that we offer empathy and support to those who are hurting. Jesus himself exemplified great compassion and empathy in his ministry, reaching out to the marginalized and to the brokenhearted. As followers of Christ, we are called to walk alongside those who are suffering, offering a compassionate ear and a loving heart. But let us be reminded of the words in 1 Thessalonians chapter 5. Therefore encourage one another and build each other up, just as in fact you are doing. While the pain of loss and despair may seem insurmountable, we must remember that through our faith in Christ, there is hope for healing. The Bible teaches us in Psalms 147, He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. Our faith provides us with the strength to endure and the assurance that God is with us, even in the darkest moments. It is through prayer, community, and the love of Christ that we can find the path to healing. Addressing the opioid crisis within the message provides us an opportunity to discuss the stigma surrounding this addiction. Stigma can prevent individuals from seeking help and can perpetuate feelings of shame and isolation. As a faith community, it is important to emphasize the need for compassion and understanding, recognizing that individuals struggling with addiction need support and not judgment. Despite the challenges that we face, we are called to be messengers of hope and restoration. The church is a beacon of light in the midst of darkness, offering a message of redemption and renewal. But let us turn to the words of Isaiah. So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. Christ's ministry was characterized by compassion, empathy, and a deep understanding of human suffering. He consistently reached out to those who were marginalized, affected, and in need of healing. By following Christ's example, the church can provide a supportive, non-judgmental environment for individuals and families impacted by this opioid crisis. This includes offering a compassionate ear, a caring presence, and a willingness to understand the struggles faced by those affected by this addiction. The teachings of Christ emphasize the concept of healing and restoration, both spiritually and emotionally. Through faith in Christ, individuals can find hope for healing from the wounds of this addiction. The healing process may involve seeking forgiveness, finding inner peace, and experiencing a sense of renewal. The church can serve as a place where individuals can seek spiritual healing and restoration, recognizing that God's grace extends to all who are in need. As we conclude, let us remember that we are called to be agents of empathy, support, and healing for those affected by the opioid crisis. But let us continue to lift up our prayers for those who are struggling and extend our hand in love and compassion. And may we be reminded of the words in Romans chapter 12, rejoice with those who rejoice, mourn with those who mourn. Let us be a community that stands in solidarity with those who are hurting, offering them the hope and love found in our faith. As we leave today, may we carry with us the message of hope and healing found in our faith. Let us be vigilant in our efforts to support and uplift those who are affected by this opioid crisis. Remember, we are not alone in this journey. God is with us, and as a community of faith, we can make a difference. And may the peace of the Lord be with you all.